Okay,
Yeah.
and then you have our favorites are on the list next, the cardinal flowers.
Yeah. Well, a lot of breeding has been done here. Um, there, um, there are various shades of red available. I personally prefer the red of the wild form, which is native here, and I'm sure it's native in Michigan.
Indeed.
It's called a cardinal flower for good reason. It is as true a red as you're going to find in the plant business. But there are a whole variety from white to nearly yellow to whatever in Ligularia. And of course, there's the other form, which is the blue form, the great blue lobelia, Lobelia syphilitica, which has the incorrect history of supposedly curing syphilis. It doesn't work, so don't try it. However, you get a whole range of hybrids there, and it is native. I think the most interesting development is the ones with the really dark purple leaves. And as you gathered from earlier when we were talking about we have a problem.
Hey, Pumpkin. Pumpkin, you've gotten big enough to block the whole screen.
I mean, the purple leaf forms are really nice. This is a plant that loves water. I've seen it frozen in a block of ice. When the ice thawed, the plant survived and grew. It's amazing. I don't know any other plant in our climate will do that, but I like the plant a lot. Takes a lot of shade, but will take sun only if it's kept moist all the time.
Yeah, we use it in the rain gardens and if we're
very good place for it. Yeah.
Are the dark leaved ones as hardy in your experience? Originally, I didn't think they were.
Originally, you're right. A lot of breeding has been done. The ones that are basically offered now are selections of the native wild form, not crosses with a more tropical form, which has been around for years, but was not hardy here. So you don't have any of that tropical mixture into it. I found them to be perfectly hardy here. The new forms. Okay.
Okay. Then Maltese cross lipstick is on your list.
Well, most of those look orange. I mentioned that Lobelia cardinalis, the wild form, is as good a red as you can get. The form called lipstick, which was bred by my friend Daryl Probst, is a very true and good red. It has a lot of flowers, blooms late spring into summer, blooms quite a long time.
Yeah, it does.
Again, it's red. Now, red is a very striking color, but can be very difficult to do in a garden. So it's a kind of a plant for that kind of person that likes that kind of a plant. I like it, but I find it very difficult to use in a garden.
The first time we planted it, we put it in a red garden and said, "Oh no, okay, it's not working with these." So it's a red unlike other reds.
Red is one of those that really you just saw in that previous image of the Google images. They're all the same plant, but look at the variation in color. And it's the light and it's the photograph that does it. The red.
Does lipstick have the darker leaf too?
Somewhat, but not a purple leaf.
Yeah.
And by the way, what you're showing is a lot more orange than I know the plant to be.
And this one, we don't think this one is lipstick.
That one was that's at Pierre's.
Oh, okay, that is.
That's when I went there.
And sometimes that's the camera, really, the camera.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, that it's the light, it's the background. Red also, it fades out you lose the middle because the red just takes over. I don't know how to describe it with digital, but it works sometimes with slide that way too. That the red.
That's what I always do when a picture doesn't turn out right. I blame the camera.
Oh yeah, it's always the camera's fault.
Because it used to be the film. It depended upon what kind of film you used as to what the highlights color came.
Yeah, there were a
Yeah.
lot of plant people that didn't like Fujichrome because it punched up the colors. They wanted Kodachrome. It was more natural. But now that I've been looking at slides, I wish I would have stuck with Kodachrome because they're
No.
holding better. No,
Oh,
they're
okay.
holding much better.
Oh, okay.
Really?
The color
Interesting.
is much better. It's not even close. The Fuji is fading fast compared to the Kodachrome.
When we go off in all directions when we talk. about
Sorry.
plants. Go ahead, bluebells.
Mertensia. Well, our native Virginia bluebells, in fact, it's native all the way up into New England. I have for years tried to isolate a pure pink form. As you may know, they tend to open pink and then turn blue, a pale lavender blue. I've also found white forms, but the plant, despite its being native and despite its being a lovely thing in the early spring, has one enormous shortcoming. It goes totally dormant in the summer. So people don't want plants that aren't around in the major part of the growing season. So it's not an easy plant to sell. I still love it. I love things that bloom early in the spring. Snowdrops, all of those early bulbs I love, and I love Virginia bluebells, but I can't forgive it for going dormant.
Well, it was one of the first things that when the hummingbirds came back, they had natural food from the flowers from the Mertensia.
Right.
It's just such a
And
happy
maybe-
plant. It spreads itself around like crazy. We just put late emergers in it. The painted fern works really well. Comes up as the bluebells go down.
Well, that's a
That's
a
true.
very good idea.
And
Um,
this group's got conoclinum, used to be Eubatorium celestinum. Now it's conoclinum, the perennial ageratum that comes up later. It's just
Another good combination with Virginia bluebells is Stylophorum diphyllum, which is
Celadine poppy?
the celandine poppy.
uh-huh.
The word celandine is confusing because there are 3 different plants that are called celandines, and they're not at all related. They all have yellow flowers,
Poppies.
and they're not poppies. But this one, celandine poppy, is in the poppy family.
And it's native. It's native.
And it's native, Stylophorum diphyllum. Often confused with the European celandine,
Which I think is a lot
which is
weedier.
Chelidonium majus, which is a hell of a weed, and it'll sow itself everywhere. The celandine poppy is not nearly so invasive. Both, by the way, are shade plants.
Well, they both go dormant.
And well, more or less dormant too, like the Mertensia. There's some foliage on the.
So underplanting or planting alongside with the ferns or other shade plants works real well with that.
Absolutely, good point. All right.